I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I've almost lost my mind. Sometimes I feel like laughing, sometimes I feel like crying. I'm going down to the river. Take me a rocking chair, and if the blues don't leave me, I'll rock away from here. Well, tell me, pretty mama, which way does the river run? It runs straight from my bed, boy, up to the rising sun. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Going down to the railroad, take me a waiting line. Let a 219 freight train pacify my mind. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Sam, here's a little different song called Elma Turl. Elma Turl was a beautiful girl, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl make me happy for the rest of my life. But my papa said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Elma Turl is a beautiful girl, but son, she's my daughter. Well, Alice Green was a beautiful thing, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl that made me happy the rest of my life. But my father said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Alice Green is a beautiful thing, but son, she's my daughter. Well, I traveled around this whole darn town like a buck looking for a doe. It seems that every pretty girl I met was just a while old my daddy had sewed. So I went to my mama with my head hung low, and she asked me what the matter could be. I told her my story, she took me by the hand, and she said, son, you listen to me. When your papa was young, his blood ran hot like a prancing stallion horse. And I thought the best thing to do was let Mother Nature take her course. So listen here, son, listen to me. Don't you worry, don't you fret, don't you bother. You see, your father ain't your father, though he thinks he is, so marry who you want her. Oh, Elma Turl was a beautiful girl, I'd like to have her for my wife. She's the kind of a girl make me happy the rest of my life. But my papa said, son, listen to me. Something you don't know, but you oughter. He said, Elma Turl is a beautiful girl, but son, she's my daughter. He was drinking mash and talking trash. Sammy, this is a story about an old moonshiner. It was back in the 30s, I think. There wasn't much to eat, but there was a plenty to drink. Mama got her groceries on commodities well, and Papa traded them for sugar to use in his still so he could drink some mash and talk some trash. Papa went to lay on his shovel all day just to shovel in some money from the WPA, but he'd spend it on mash and he'd talk some trash. Now down in the meadow lived old Maggie Hill. She lived about a mile from Papa's moonshine still. Every time Mama and I found ourselves alone, we knew that old Pa had found Maggie at home, and they were drinking mash and we're talking trash. Mama knew what was going on, I know, but she wasn't about to ever let it show. She wasn't about to go after old Pop today because tomorrow got his money from the WPA, but he'd spend it on mash and he'd talk some trash. But on Friday night, Mama got the shotgun down. I heard the noise from the valley and began to look around. Pretty soon that noise, it was bound to stop, but that sawed-off, it made crowd out of Pop, but he was drinking mash and he was talking trash. They say that Papa didn't have the change of a mouse because that sawed-off, it took away a half of the house. Judge said to Ma, it's a mystery to me that they'd bring you to court on such a plea because he was drinking mash and talking trash. Well, if I know old Pa and where he's at, he's still a toting sugar and a getting fat. He just leans over and says, let her burn, while me and old Satan bends another worm so we could drink some mash and talk some trash. He was drinking mash and he was talking trash. Oh, that's an old moonshine story, Sam. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I've almost lost my mind. Sometimes I feel like laughing. Sometimes I feel like crying. I'm going down to the river. Take me a rocking chair. And if the blues don't leave me, I'll rock away from here. Well, tell me, pretty mama, which way does the river run? It runs straight from my bed, boy, up to the rising sun. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Going down to the railroad, take me a waiting line. Let a 219 freight train pacify my mind. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Sam, here's a little different song called Elma Turl. Elma Turl was a beautiful girl, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl make me happy for the rest of my life. But my papa said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Elma Turl is a beautiful girl, but son, she's my daughter. Well, Alice Green was a beautiful thing, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl to make me happy the rest of my life. But my father said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Alice Green is a beautiful thing, but son, she's my daughter. Well, I traveled around this whole darn town like a buck looking for a doe. It seems that every pretty girl I met was just a wild oat my daddy had sowed. So I went to my mama with my head hung low, and she asked me what the matter could be. I told her my story, she took me by the hand, and she said, son, you listen to me. When your papa was young, his blood ran hot like a prancing stallion horse. And I thought the best thing to do was let Mother Nature take her course. So listen here, son, listen to me. Don't you worry, don't you fret, don't you bother. You see, your father ain't your father, though he thinks he is.
Hi, I'm Meg Poor.
Hi, I'm Amy Delap Poor, one of Henry's daughters.
And I'm Eric Walden, Executive Director of the Poor Medical Clinic. Welcome to our 8th annual Beans and Rice. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for our sponsors helping us with our event today, so we'd like to thank the Flagstaff Sheriff's Posse, Pioneer Title Agency, Findlay Toyota right here in Flagstaff, and the Arizona Community Foundation of Flagstaff. Thank you for your support.
And we're so excited tonight. My mom, Nina Poor, is with us. And Amy, you did a video with Mom, right, to introduce her?
Yeah, I did. And we had so much fun talking to her about what's happening tonight.
From the Orpheum 2020. We're so glad to have you with us. I'm here with my mom, Nina.
I'm happy to have you all as well. And all of my family from across the country is going to be involved in this, and I think you'll enjoy them very much. And they're looking forward to it. So thank you for being with us.
I think you'll enjoy our evening. You're going to hear a little bit about how Beans and Rice came to be, and more about the clinic and some of the patients that we serve. You're also going to hear some great music that we always enjoy having at Beans and Rice. So thanks again for being here, and tune in.
Good evening. I'm Beth Poor Bowman, the oldest of Henry and Nina's 7 children, and I live in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. I'd like to welcome you to the 8th annual and first online Beans and Rice fundraiser. Here, this is our fundraiser for the Poor Medical Clinic and the Sid Davis Dental Clinic. My parents were living in a little town in Virginia when I was a little girl, and my mother had terrible allergies, so they set off for the West to look for a place to settle where she would have less trouble breathing. They loaded up the Airstream, hitched up the Country Squire station wagon, and set off down Route 66. As often happened on those trips, I was sick, and my father had not brought his standard fix for a sore throat, which was a cc of penicillin, and you're behind. So he went into town looking for a pharmacy that could help him. He went to Paul Armstrong's pharmacy on Beaver Street, and Mr. Armstrong couldn't sell him medications because in those days you couldn't check licenses from state to state like we can now. Mr. Armstrong, however, recommended that Daddy try to get in touch with Dr. Charles Sechrist, who might be able to help him. Daddy went back to the trailer only to find that in the interim, Mr. Armstrong had called Dr. Sechrist and that Dr. Sechrist had showed up, given me a shot of penicillin, and gone on his way. Daddy went to thank him, and Dr. Sechrist refused to take any payment, but said to Daddy he should come to Flagstaff and set up practice. My parents fell in love with Flagstaff on that trip and soon moved us to Flagstaff. Dr. Sechrist was a noted philanthropist in Flagstaff. He started the hospital and gave the building to the city and was on the school board for many years. In addition, Dr. Sechrist treated a lot of the less well-off folks in Flagstaff. One night, as his health had been failing, he called my father and asked him to make a house call out to Doney Park to see an old cowboy named Charlie Rice. So Daddy got in the car, loaded up his bag, and set off for Doney Park. Now, those of you who know my father know that his stories sometimes had a lot of color for detail, and this one, he always claimed he was driving the Model A Ford and that it was snowing. One way or the other, he got there and treated Mr. Rice for pneumonia. As he was leaving, Mr. Rice said, "So where are my beans? Dr. Sechrist always brings me a bag of beans when he comes." So Daddy said, "Well, I didn't know anything about that, but I'll find out for you when I get back to town." Daddy went back and called Dr. Sechrist, and Dr. Sechrist said, "Oh gosh, I forgot to tell you. So come to my office and I'll fix you up." When Daddy got to Dr. Sechrist's office in the waiting room, there was a big bag of pinto beans and a big bag of white rice. Dr. Sechrist had a scoop there, some brown paper bags, and a sign that said, "Help yourself." Dr. Sechrist told my father that he kept those in his office for those of his patients that just needed a little hand from time to time. Daddy took the beans and set off for Doney Park and delivered them to Mr. Rice. He never forgot Dr. Sechrist's example and through the years treated people for bicycles and firewood and coal and work around our place out on Fort Valley Road. This fundraiser for the Poor Medical Clinic is to give us an opportunity to give a little hand to those who need a little help in our community. So thank you for participating tonight, and we hope to see you live in the Orpheum next year. But for now, please enjoy the show.
Thank you so much, Beth. That was awesome. Wonderful way to share our story. And 2020 is so different for Beans and Rice this year, but we're just thrilled you're joining us. We are live here at the Orpheum in Flagstaff, missing all of our family and friends, but we know you're out there in this online event with us. So thank you so much. And I'm going to introduce the incredible Pete Goslow. Pete is like a brother to the Poor family, and I'll just turn it over to the incredible Pete Goslow.
My name is Pete Goslow, and I'm a singer-songwriter coming to you from Huntington Beach, California. I was born and raised in Flagstaff, Arizona, and along the way established a lifelong friendship with Dr. and Mrs. Poor. Since my childhood, the Poor family has treated me like one of their own, for which I am forever grateful. I do miss Dr. Poor, especially his assuring, larger-than-life big grin and his special gift for telling stories. Last time I was involved with the Beans and Rice fundraising concert, I shared the stage with Dr. Poor, and we made music together, a lifetime of great memories. I'm very proud of all of the volunteers who keep the Poor Clinic going, spending countless hours giving to the community through their endeavor of helping people in need. These volunteers make a difference. In turn, Your contribution and support is exactly what this country needs more of right now. Giving directly to a community and helping the less fortunate really does make a difference. During my time growing up in Flagstaff, we spent many wonderful days enjoying Oak Creek Canyon, and many years ago, I decided to write a song about it. If you close your eyes and listen closely, you might hear the magical sound the creek waters make as they gently run down through the Red Rock Canyons. Thank you for supporting the Poor Clinic through Beans and Rice. Your contributions are greatly appreciated and do make a difference. God bless our healthcare workers. I will now perform my song, Oak Creek.
Swinging on an old rope across the halfway point. Started up on high red rock, released myself, now I'm flying. Flying through the air, gonna land down in a deep cool pool of water. Hold your breath, pray for rain, pray for rain. Ditching school with some old friends, we crossed the stratosphere. A mission we're on to dangle our bare feet in creeks of water. Cool creeks of water, dangle your bare feet down and raise life today. Reminiscing days past, still wondering where my baby is, baby is. If you could go back, you'd be back there in the morning. Now we're slipping down a slide rock, letting water take us where we've never been, never been. If you could go back, you'd be back there in the morning. I'd meet you back there in the morning. Swinging on an old road, crossed the halfway point. Started up on high red rock, released myself, now I'm flying. Fly through the air, gonna land down in a deep cool pool of water. Hold your breath, pray for rain, pray for rain. Pray for rain, rain, pray for rain. Pray for rain, rain, pray for rain.
Wow, what a great way to start off the music this evening. Thank you, Pete, for that performance and for an original song about Northern Arizona. We sure appreciate your support of the Poor Medical Clinic and its mission to people in need. Poor Medical Clinic delivers free, professional, primary medical and dental care to people in need in our community. And we couldn't do it without the support of the community. And you can become a supporter right now by going to poormedicalclinic.org/support, make your donation, and help us continue the mission of the Poor Medical Clinic. Next up is Matt, another one of the poor kids, singing some songs from us. And the second song he's going to perform for you right now, he sang last year, the day after beans and rice at his brother's own wedding. Seems like Tony and the gang were hanging out to have a welcome for Matt. Take it away, guys.
Well, look who showed up out there. Is that Matt?
Hey, Tony. How you doing, man?
Very good. Who else we got here today?
Hey, Tony, Sam, good to see ya.
There's Sam. How are you, Sam?
Good. You're looking good today.
Oh, thank you. Who else is out there?
Hey, Tony, it's Amy here in Flagstaff.
Hello, Amy. So wonderful to see your faces. I'm just so happy that we can all be together for this event once again, coming together to celebrate the clinic and the gift that it is to Flagstaff. Matt, I wanted to talk with you just a little bit. I know you prepared a couple of songs for us. Now, what will you be singing for us?
So the first song I'm going to start with is a song that became one of my dad's favorite songs in his later years. And it's a song that I popped on him. I didn't think he'd ever heard it, and he hadn't, and he just absolutely loved it. And then I think he told me he came back to Flagstaff, went to the wine loft and popped it on you and surprised you with it. So it's a song about an old man that's thinking back to his days in the mountains of Tennessee in 1949, which would have been when my dad was 18 years old.
Well, that sounds wonderful, Matt. Why don't we get started and hear these songs?
Okay, here we go.
Well, I wonder if it's raining in the mountain, and I wonder if the old town looks the same, if the church still stands beside the river. If I went down there, could I find where Mama lay? Does life still go to sleep just after sunset? Are the berries still as big upon the vine? Do old folks sit and talk about the good old days, the way they did in 1949? Oh, how I'd like to be back in those hills of Tennessee. Oh, it would be so fine if if I could just go back to 1949. Well, I wonder if by chance they might remember a boy who ran so wild and fancy-free, who always loved guitars and country music. If I went back there, would they remember me? And I wonder what became of Catherine Akers, that girl that broke my heart at 17. I barely can remember what she looked like. 60 years ago, she was my dream. Oh, how I'd like to be back in the hills of Tennessee. Oh, it would be so fine if I could just go back to 1949. By now you know I've looked the wide world over for what I can't recall and didn't find. Now I'm searching pictures in my memory for Tennessee in 1949. Oh, how I'd like to be back in those hills of Tennessee. Oh, it would be so fine if I could just go back to 1949. Tennessee, 1949. I dreamed you, I dreamed your face, caught my lifeline while drifting through space. I saw an angel, I saw my fate. I can only thank God it was not too late. Over mountains I floated away, across the ocean I dreamed her face. I followed the angel down through the gates, and I can only thank God it was not too late. Sing a little song of loneliness, sing one to make me smile. Spread your love around to everyone, we're only here for a little while. Now I'm walking this road that I chose. She's with me wherever I go. I found an angel, I found my place, and I can only thank God it was not too late. I only thank God it was not too late. I can only thank God it was not too late. A long time ago, I left my home for a job in the fruit trees, but I missed my hills with their windy pines, 'cause their song just seemed to suit me. Well, I sent my wages to my home, and I said soon we'd be together, for the next big crop would pay my way, and I'd be home. show for my day. One more dollar and I'm on my way. When I reach those hills, boys, no more will I roam. One more dollar and I'm going home. No work, says the boss from the bunkhouse door. There's a freeze out on the branches. But when the dice came out at the bar downtown, I rolled and took my chances. One more dime to show for my day. One more dollar and I'm on my way. When I reach those hills, boys, no more will I roam. One more dollar and I'm going home. A long time ago, I left my home, just a boy, barely passing 20. Could you spare me a coin and a Christian prayer? 'Cause my luck has done turned against me. One more dime to show for my day. Just one more dollar and I'm on my way. When I reach those hills, boys, no more will I roam. One more dollar and I'm going home. One more dollar, boys, and I'm going home.
That's great, Matt. Thank you so much. What a talented family. Matt has been with us, been one of the performers of Beans and Rice and a supporter of the clinic from the very beginning. Couldn't do it without him. Thank you for your support, Matt. And we need your support as well. We need your support to help keep the clinic's mission going. Our mission is to provide free professional primary medical and dental care to people in need. And since we're bringing you this live stream for free right now, we'd like you to go on our website at poormedicalclinic.org/support and make a gift. $15 could help us carry on our mission of helping people who need our help. Your support can have a dramatic impact on someone's life. Here's a story from one of our grateful patients she'd like to share with you now.
Hi, my name is Amy, and I am a prior consumer at the Poor Clinic. I started coming here pretty close to when they opened in 2011, and I was very fortunate to be able to see a gynecologist that was volunteering here at the clinic, and she discovered that I had cancer. And she literally, in the Poor Clinic, saved my life. I was able to successfully get treatment, and I'm happy to say that it was successful. And the best news out of that, in my opinion, is that Henry Poor really educated me about this particular cancer and what its ramifications were, and that it could recur easily and that I needed to watch it very carefully. And as a result of that, I've just discovered that the cancer's back, and that I'm grateful again for Henry, even from the grave, saving my life again. And I have no doubt that I'll be able to get through this as well. And I'd like to thank Henry and Nina and Henry from the grave and Nina from here and all the people at the Poor Clinic for helping me be able to continue to be a parent to our two severely disabled adults that we've had for 26 years now. because if we weren't able to get care here, we would have had to go and get corporate jobs to get benefits. And so I appreciate everyone at the Poor Clinic, and thank you again, everybody.
What a powerful story. Thank you for sharing that story with us. The impact the Poor Clinic has on people's lives is hard to measure, and we couldn't do it without our doctors, nurses, medical assistants, and staff, who are all volunteers. They all provide their professional services to our patients for free. And here to talk about our medical program is our medical co-director, Dr. Doug Padgett.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you all for joining us. On behalf of my co-medical director, Dr. David Spence, we want to send out enormous gratitude to our medical volunteers. This is an amazing group that includes nurses, medical assistants, nurse practitioners, physicians' assistants, doctors of osteopathy, and doctors of medicine. And it's been a very challenging year, as we all know. For a while, we had to take a break from seeing patients for elective visits, as that was the recommendations. But we've been able to start seeing patients back in July, and there are a lot of patients that didn't have any, there were new patients who had no medical provider, and we started to screen and see them first. And this took a lot of special coordination with our medical staff, and many thanks to Genevieve Conley and Laura Trujillo for keeping us all straight and organized. And once again, thanks to all our amazing medical volunteers. You really make our mission happen.
Thank you, Dr. Padgett. Again, visit us on the internet at poormedicalclinic.org/support. Please make your gift to help this important work. And now it's back to Meg.
It's my privilege and honor to introduce my brother, Dr. Samuel Poor, coming from Madison, Wisconsin. And I think Sam's with Tony and Amy and my mom.
What a wonderful evening we're having, family and friends all together here. Amy and Sam are joining us. I recognize that mantelpiece behind you. You're at the old homestead there, aren't you?
I am. Yes.
Well, is Nina there?
Mom, yeah, she is. She's right here. Come on in.
Great.
She's going to join us.
Hi there.
Hello,
haven't seen you in a long time, Tony.
It has. You look wonderful, Nina.
Thank you. You do too.
I'm so glad that we're all together again.
Yeah.
It's so nice. We love this time of the year.
And I know Sam's over there in the corner. Say hi, Sam.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Mom. Hey, Amy.
Hey.
Hey, Sam. How are you today?
I'm good. Just
good.
Sitting in my office, kind of just, you know, really happy that we're doing this again this year. It's my favorite time of year.
Sam, I know you've got a song prepared for us. I'd like to hear about that. But first, I've got to ask you, where is your fiddler?
Well, that member of the band isn't here tonight, Tony. So he's kind of in school and doing a bunch of things and activities and couldn't be here, unfortunately. But he certainly sends his wishes, and Beans and Rice is one of his favorite events of the year. As you know, he participates every year, and he's quite a heck of a fiddler, and wishes he were here. I wish he was here too. I knew a man once, since he was 8 years old. He worked up in the mountains, doing what he was told. Through springtime, morning dew, summer nights, he always knew. When he closed lies. What he wanted to do. To leave that little paper town, rode the train, rode it all around. Settled down in Charlottetown, wide-eyed and looking all around. 'Cause there were books in sight, examining lights, up all night, filling up that head. And when they close their eyes, they realized what they wanted to do. Go west, ultimate test. They had to get away. Sunlight, blue sky, tall pines, they were there to stay. And when they closed their eyes, they realized what they wanted to do. They opened up, the people came, they gave it all away. Now come along, sing its song, and help to carry it on. 'Cause if you close your eyes, you'll realize it's what you have to do.
What a wonderful song, Sam. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Tony. That was a fun one to write. Kind of just came out of nowhere as they do. So I think that a little bit of message in that song is that there's a lot that we can do to help others, a lot that we should do to help others. And this is really the time to do it. And, you know, we're here obviously trying to raise some money for the free clinic. If you can give $1 or $5 or whatever it is, every dollar of it will go to help people in need, and it won't go to the bureaucrats or anybody else, just right to that clinic. We also know it's been a hard year for a lot of you, and if this isn't the year, we're not going anywhere. We'll be back next year. So
Thank you so much, Sam. I'm just, it's been such a treat in my life to be a shirt-tail relative of the poor family. And I appreciate so much what you've all done. We've got more for you folks. I'll do a little song for you here in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Sam. Oh my goodness, what a talented family. Not only is Sam another one of the poor doctors, there are many doctors in the family, but also a talented musician, wrote original music for you this evening. In fact, all of our musicians, all of our performers have donated their services and their talents so that you could have an enjoyable evening watching Beans and Rice. Won't you consider making a donation now so you can contribute to the evening too and help the work the clinic does, providing free primary medical and dental care to people in need. Some people ask, well, why dental? Why is dental considered primary care? Well, The fact of the matter is, a dental problem that has gone unattended to could lead to more serious medical conditions, an infection that could have serious health implications. So we at the Poor Clinic consider dental an integral, important part of primary care. And it has a dramatic impact on people's lives, as we'll hear now from Robert.
My name is Robert. I just wanted to say that I've been very grateful for what's happened, the good things. I've had a lot of bad things happen to me, but lots of times of doing drugs and stuff. And now that the people from the Poor Clinic have helped me, I'm able to smile again. And it's wonderful. They go out of their way. They really have. And I'm not the only one that's been this happy about it. And God, I just don't know how else to express it, but I thank them very much, and I'm glad that I'm able to turn my life around for a while, at least for as long as what I live, because I'm 63 now, and hopefully I'll live to see 80, you know? So thanks to my smile, it's going to last for a lot longer than that. I can eat stuff wonderfully, and I don't have to cover my mouth when I smile, because a lot of times when I smile, only my gums and my 4 teeth would show from them helping me what I had left. Oh my God, my teeth were so bad that I couldn't afford going to a clinic until I met the Poor Clinic. But I used to pull my own teeth. I probably pulled maybe 80% of my own teeth by myself with pliers and even with my own hands. And for what I've been through, I've been very grateful and thankful that I was able to come into the Poor Clinic and have them help me like they have. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be able to smile again. I know that.
Wow, the things that many of us take for granted, like being able to bite into an apple. Thank you for sharing that story. We have dedicated professionals in the dental clinic as well. And here to talk to you about that is our co-director of our dental program, Dr. Dale Hallberg.
Thank you, Eric. A very warm greeting from all of us here at the Sid Davis Memorial Dental Clinic. Many of you know Dr. Davis was a practicing dentist here in Flagstaff who lost his life tragically in a motorcycle accident several years ago. His family was gracious enough to allow the Poor Clinic to create a dental clinic in his honor. And so that we thank all of you donors that allow us to continue his legacy and for us to serve the people of Northern Arizona and of Flagstaff with what we do. You just heard Robert's story. He didn't get into a lot of details, but here's a gentleman who really pulled himself up by his own bootstraps, life of drug addiction. He decided to make a change, and you know, we were so fortunate to be a part of that change. Much of what we do is emergency care, get people out of discomfort, hopefully prevent discomfort, but every once in a while we get to be a part of somebody's life like that and a situation like that where we can create some good and know that he's going to go out in the community and create more good with everybody he sees. He's really a tremendous individual, and we're glad to be part of that. On behalf of my co-director, Dr. Jonathan Robinson, our clinic manager, Maureen Pisano, we would like to deeply thank all of our dental volunteers, assistants, hygienists, doctors. Always ask for more if people are willing to help volunteer, but they put in a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of care, a lot of love in that clinic. And we love all you guys and really appreciate your time. Eric?
Thank you, Dr. Hallberg. And that is a fact. The passion and care given by our volunteers makes it possible for people like Robert to get the care they need. And we can continue providing that care if you will make a donation now. Go to the poormedicalclinic.org/support. Would you consider making a $15 donation right now? It'll only take a couple minutes of your time, but as you've heard, it can have a tremendous impact on the quality of someone's life. Now we're going back to Meg and Amy.
Hi. I'm so proud to introduce our next musical guest and proud to call him a friend and a wonderful supporter of my family and of the Poor Medical Clinic. Tony Norris is an exceptional storyteller, musician. He and my dad were wonderful, great friends. And the original Beans and Rice, Tony worked tirelessly with my mom and dad to come up with the concept of this wonderful fundraiser. So we welcome you so much, Tony. And I know that Amy has a lot to say about Tony also.
Hey, Tony, we love you. And just personally, you've been such an inspiration to me, like the music, just through whatever you have played and just been a blessing to so many people through your music. We love your family, and you've inspired me. And being able to play in our band, usually, not this year, but hopefully in the future, it's just been fantastic. So we just love you and really appreciate you. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you very much, Amy. You know, Dr. Poor and Nina have always known that music had a role in healing and in good health and well-being. Years after we met, Nina told me the story of Henry coming home. He had been in the park, and I was doing a performance there, and Henry was sitting over there asking for tunes, and I was complying, and after a while I said, well, get your guitar. And he didn't have a guitar with him, but he had a banjo, and we played for a long time. And Nina just a few years ago told me that he came home that night and said, I finally found somebody that knows more songs than I do. And I don't think that was true, but Henry always tried to spring new songs on me, and he was such a great music companion. So here's a song for Henry Poor and for all of you. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and you shiver when the cold winds blow. You shiver when the cold winds blow. My daddy was a railroad man, killed a mile and a half from town. His head was found beneath the boiler box, but his body has never been found. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and you shiver when the cold winds blow. You shiver when the cold winds blow. I'm walking down the railroad track, trying to read a letter from home. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and you shiver when the cold winds blow. You shiver when the cold winds blow. Little girl, where'd you sleep last night? Not even your mammy knows. In the pines, where the sun never shines, and you shiver when the cold winds blow. You shiver when the cold winds blow. Thank you so very, very much for joining us tonight and being part of this community that serves Flagstaff. Don't go anywhere. There's some more music and other things that you're going to want to hear until I see you again.
I love that song, and our next performer I know loves it also. He plays the bass, usually in our band. He's my beloved nephew, Zeke. He is so busy right now, so thank you so much, Zeke, for doing this for us. I know that you understand how much the clinic means to people that really need the care, so we just really appreciate you, and here's Zeke Hartman from Salt Lake City.
Hi, my name is Zeke Hartman, coming to you from hot and smoky Salt Lake City here at the end of September of 2020. I'm a grandson to Nina and Henry Poor, but today we're here to hopefully raise a bunch of money for the Poor Medical Clinic down in Flagstaff, helping people who don't have the money to get quality health care. I'm sure we're going to hear a bunch of stories about my grandpa Henry Poor and my grandmother Nina, who have done just that, who've reached out and helped people over the years without asking anything in return. It's an important thing for Flag, and it's important for the people who need to use that service in Flagstaff. So let's help them out. Anyway, here we go. Railroad Bill. Now railroad bill, railroad bill, never worked and it never will. Gonna ride. Now railroad bill's mighty mean, man. Shot the light out of great man's hand. He's gonna ride. Now railroad bill, he's up on the hill, lighting cigars with $10 bills. He's gonna ride. I'm going on the mountain and I'm going down west. 38 special sticking out his vest. Gonna ride. Now buy me a pistol, stone as my arm. Shoot at one who's done me harm. Gonna ride. I 38 special and a 45 frame. I can't miss cause I got the dead aim. I'm gonna ride. And early one morning, standing in the rain, round that bend came a long freight train. He's gonna ride. Now railroad bill, he's coming home soon. Kill McMillan by the full moon. He's gonna ride. Now McMillan had himself a special train. When they got there, said he was rain. He's gonna ride. Now kill me a chicken, send me the wing. Think they're working, Lord, I ain't done a thing. He's gonna ride. Now kill me a chicken and send me the head. Think I'm working, Lord, I'm sleeping in my bed. I'm gonna ride. Now drink me some whiskey and drink it in the wind. The doctor said it'd kill me, but I didn't say when. I'm gonna ride. Thank you. Please donate to the Poor Family Clinic. do your part and they'll try and do theirs. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the show.
More talent from the extended Poor family. Thank you, Zeke, very much for that performance. We sure do appreciate you. Well, we're in the home stretch here at Beans and Rice, winding things up just about, but it's not too late to make a donation for the serious work that we do helping people's lives, helping people in need. Go to the poormedicalclinic.org/support. Please consider making your donation right now. Help us to continue having a positive impact on people's lives. Now I have a special treat. Live here on the Orpheum stage in Flagstaff is our next performer, Bill Burke, who with Tony Norris have been part of Beans and Rice every year, all these years, again, donating their talent and services to help our clinic fulfill its mission. Take it away, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. That was incredible. The wonderful Bill Burke. And another thing that's so special about Bill's music is that he actually makes his own instruments. So you gotta love that. Thank you so much for joining us for Beans and Rice, our 8th annual 2020, a year we will never forget. It's just so special to be here. We're being safe, and we really just appreciate you tuning in to us for this live online event to celebrate the incredible legacy of my parents, Dr. Henry Poor and Nina Poor.
The performers, Matt, Sam, my brothers, oh, Zeke, Bill, Tony, thank you so much. I know Daddy's up there playing with us, and the way he likes to end our show traditionally is Amazing Grace. This is his mandolin. Tony and Bill have been so gracious to me. I've been trying to learn how to play this mandolin. So this is Daddy tonight. Thank you for being here. Sing Amazing Grace at home with us. Everybody's going to join in. Dr. Paget, we called him One-Eyed Newt. He is going to be playing on the harmonica. He's part of our band. I'm hoping we're going to be here next year. Raise your voices for peace in our country and for safety. Everybody be well. Thank you, everybody. Mom, step up here. I know you want to thank everybody.
Thank all of you, and I know you enjoyed the show as much as I did. And thank you to all of those folks out there who have helped us, and all of our volunteers. They're very special, and hope you enjoyed this show.
And thank you again to our wonderful sponsors to help make Beans and Rice happen this year. Sheriff's Posse of Flagstaff, Pioneer Title Agency, Findlay Toyota, and the Arizona Community Foundation of Flagstaff. Thank you for your support, and thank you, those of you watching, for your donation tonight.
Grace, how sweet the sound, saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found, was blind, but now I see. All right, it's a wrap.
I won't be blue. Thank you all for being with us. The Poor Medical Clinic is dependent on folks like you. And if you can, we would be happy if you would make us a donation.
Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I've almost lost my mind. Sometimes I feel like laughing, sometimes I feel like crying. I'm going down to the river. Take me a rocking chair, and if the blues don't leave me, I'll rock away from here. Well, tell me, pretty mama, which way does the river run? It runs straight from my bed, boy, up to the rising sun. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Going down to the railroad, take me a waiting line. Let a 219 freight train pacify my mind. Trouble in mind, I'm blue. I won't be blue always. The sun's gonna shine in my back door someday. Sam, here's a little different song called Elma Turl. Elma Turl was a beautiful girl, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl make me happy for the rest of my life. But my papa said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Elma Turl is a beautiful girl, but son, she's my daughter. Well, Alice Green was a beautiful thing, I'd like to have her for my wife. She was just the kind of a girl to make me happy the rest of my life. But my father said, Sonny, there's something you don't know, but there's something I think you order. You see, Alice Green is a beautiful thing, but son, she's my daughter. Well, I travel around this whole darn town like a buck looking for a doe. It seems that every pretty girl I met was just a wild oat my daddy had sowed. So I went to my mama with my head hung low, and she asked me what the matter could be. I told her my story, she took me by the hand, and she said, son, you listen to me. When your papa was young, his blood ran hot like a prancing stallion horse. And I thought the best thing to do was let Mother Nature take her course. So listen here, son, listen to me. Don't you worry, don't you fret, don't you bother. You see, your father ain't your father, though he thinks he is, so marry who you want her. Oh, Elma Turl was a beautiful girl, I'd like to have her for my wife. She's the kind of a girl make me happy the rest of my life. But my papa said, son, listen to me. Something you don't know, but you oughter. He said, Elma Turl is a beautiful girl, but son, she's my daughter. He was drinking mash and talking trash. Sammy, this is a story about an old moonshiner. It was back in the 30s, I think. There wasn't much to eat, but there was a plenty to drink. Mama got her groceries on commodities well, and Papa traded them for sugar to use in his still so he could drink some mash and talk some trash. Papa went to lay on his shovel all day just to shovel in some money from the WPA, but he'd spend it on mash and he'd talk some trash. Now down in the meadow lived old Maggie Hill. She lived about a mile from Papa's moonshine still. Every time Mama and I found ourselves alone, we knew that old Pa had found Maggie at home, and they were drinking mash and were talking trash. Mama knew what was going on, I know, but she wasn't about to ever let it show. She wasn't about to go after old Pop today because tomorrow got his money from the WPA, but he'd spend it on mash and he'd talk some trash. But on Friday night, Mama got the shotgun down. I heard the noise from the valley and began to look around. Pretty soon that noise, it was bound to stop, but that sawed-off, it made crowd out of Pop, but he was drinking mash and he was talking trash. They say that Papa didn't have the change of a mouse because that sawed-off, it took away a half of the house. Judge said to Ma, it's a mystery to me that they'd bring you to court on such a plea because he was drinking mash and talking trash. Well, if I know old Pa and where he's at, he's still a toting sugar and a getting fat. He just leans over and says, let her burn, while me and old Satan bends another worm so we could drink some mash and talk some trash. He was drinking mash and he was talking trash. Oh, that's an old